It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
Keith out here.
Oh, wait, song's over.
I just got to come on for a second because all of us are in the background. I watched a few of you, and we're all like dancing to the. That is a great.
It's a great riff, man. I love that groove, man. And you know, this song, I found it by chance because I was irritated because I was playing a cover of "Thank God It's Friday," but I still got ganked for it. It went for a long time without being ganked, and then all of a sudden it got ganked, and I went, "Then fuck you, YouTube!" And I went and I found this song on their list. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like a bouncy song. And then all of a sudden I'm
going like
to
this, and I'm going like this, and we're all.
I'm just gonna say that every time I hear it, I feel like I'm being rickrolled.
Rickrolled.
I was doing the Carlton there.
The Carlton, yeah.
On the pre-show, we were talking about a few things, and Kieran, you're on the spot because I want to hear what you got to talk about concerning a thing that we were just talking.
Well, I'm glad you're sticking up here with us, man. I love having you on the show with us, Bill.
Yeah, should be more often.
Look, Kieran works for Geekosity. Geekosity is created by our good friend Mikey Sutton, who has no time for us except for in chat. He's always chatting with us, but he's no longer allowed to chat with me after 1 o'clock in the morning. I said, "You've almost caused me to have a stroke."
So he's as bad as Andy Morrow?
Back in December. You remember what happened in December, Kieran?
Yep.
I lost my fucking shit when he announced that. They're all gone. And I'm like, what? And I'm serious. Anima will tell you. I was like, what? 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 What?
Oh my gosh.
I got into a crazy feed loop and I couldn't get out of it.
Dude, nothing can't be as bad as Andy Morrow's texts like 15 every 5 minutes.
Oh my God. I got to tell you, he was, oh my God. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning for me, which was what, 11 o'clock for him in Seattle. And he was just typing away. Cavill's gone. Wonder Woman gone. And I'm like, what?
Well, I'll let you guys go, but Kieran, you do a great job.
Stick around. I want to see your reaction to some of the stuff because what we're going to hit first is I'm going to share my screen here. I got to do my new favorite screen first, so I got to go to this one. Yay! Present screen. I hate that they put present on it. Just sounds weird. What a weird phrase. Turn of phrase. Present screen. Whatever. So we've got James Gunn taking the blame for Shazam. What's up with that, Kieran? Because I thought for sure he was like everybody's going to get thrown under the bus for this.
Well, they're just saying that what with the announcement of his reboot coming out just before Shazam came out, it kind of derailed it.
It really did derail it. I agree. So that's really what he's saying. Because his partner, Saffron, is the executive producer on the film, not him.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks bad for his partner.
It's the fact that James Gunn was the face of this reboot, because, you know, it was him in the video announcing it, so he's the face, he's the scapegoat.
He is also, and I got to put it, I've said this like since December, he needs to get off social media. He talks too damn much, and he causes more problems than he solves.
Question too, because you guys are more familiar with this, and Kieran, you might know specifically, how much was the budget for this film, and how much has it grossed so far?
Wasn't it 200 million?
Wow.
I think so.
It's actually right here. If you read the article, it's like right there. It says a global was 132 million against a $125 million budget. Oh. And here's the bad news that a lot of people don't know or seem to still not know, which shocks me. Hey, Dork Knight, a film's budget, the rule of thumb is whatever the budget is, you double it because that has to include marketing. So you're looking at a film that probably was 250 to 300 million, and he only made 132 back. Bad. Now I'm going to tell you right now, they'll make the rest of it back in. They'll break even through video on demand, DVD, Blu-ray sales. They will. Also, with any lucrative deals they have for Showtime, HBO, whoever, it's probably going to be HBO because it's DC Warner. So they'll make some money back on that through subscribership.
Let me ask you this.
They'll never turn a real profit though.
Let me ask you this question to all of you. Is it because of the type of movie and the type of humor that may not like get to the audiences? They don't get it in overseas. It's, you know what I mean? It's like they're like in the UK, Kieran, do they get this humor? It's like, this is silly. We don't want to watch this.
What did you think of the film, Kieran?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, there you go. I got to watch the first 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I'm not gonna finish this. I didn't like the opening.
I watched the whole thing. The dragon fight was awesome.
See, that's what I want to try to get to. I want to find out where all the times are for the best scenes and then go and watch those scenes. I got to tell you, I'm just not interested in the story they're trying to tell. Without Black Adam, I didn't care anymore because I wanted to see Black Adam fight Shazam.
Yeah, that should have been what happened.
It's what we were promised.
There you go. And so there's a lot of screw ups from, even before Hamada, the dude before him. God, he was a mess. He was the one who started the derailment of Warner Brothers. He led to, it's him singularly blamed for why Drew Struzan retired from doing movie posters. I don't tell people that very often, but I happen to know the inside stuff on that one. That he was working on Hellboy, Harry Potter, and then all of a sudden they just made this decision at Warner Brothers. This includes Sony. All of them started doing the same thing. They followed suit of, we've got people that could do Photoshop. We don't need artists anymore.
Oh.
And the value of the movie, these guys didn't understand the value of a movie poster, that a movie poster sells the movie. And Drew Struzan was one of the greatest. Him, Brown, there's like a handful of them. I knew two of them, personally. I wish I'd met Richard Amzell. He did the first Raiders of the Lost Ark posters. And but I got to know quite a few of the more modern artists, and Brown is the old one. That guy goes back to before the 10 Commandments. He did the Creature from the Black Lagoon poster. He was the dude, but back then they couldn't sign their names. Drew is the first movie poster artist, got to put his name on those posters. And it's, again, I brought this up earlier, it's because the Police Academy movies, they were so successful, and those posters were so successful that they allowed him to put his name on them. From that point forward, his name helped sell the poster as well as the movie. And
now we get posters like the Marvels.
So much crap out there. And I'm a movie poster artist, but and I think I've shown Martin, I don't think I've shown John the letter I got from Drew where he said he considered me the true heir to his style. But the fact is that style doesn't mean anything because I don't use his style when I do my posters most of the time, because I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to use somebody else's style.
I think the problem overall in Hollywood, because I looked at the summer blockbusters supposedly that are coming out this summer, and it's like just reboots, remakes, or sequels.
This has been a problem for the last 15 years, dude. A lot of reboots. Back when, Karen was still eating Captain Crunch, watching telly in the morning.
What's Captain Crunch?
Fuck you, man. I love you, man. Fuck you. What breakfast cereals do you have over there in the UK? Wibbly bibbly.
And do you use milk?
I'm going to tell you something. Milk in the UK is delicious. I used to love that. Go get a bottle, and you would take the top off, and there'd be that thin skin on the top. Drinking that, oh my God, I love that. And then I'd shake it up and drink. Man, you guys, you do milk right in England, man. I shit you not. I fucking hate American milk compared to drinking milk in Britain.
When we used to get the bottles in the metal container when they used to deliver the milk, it was different. as a kid. Remember that? That was Milk.
Yeah. I didn't get that very much because that ended in the 60s. It really did. Milkmen were just dying breed by the 1970. They're hardly anywhere because you could buy milk at stores, and they started the first big grocery stores in the 70s. In Virginia, where I grew up, it was giant. It was called Giant Grocery Store. It was huge. It was like a super Walmart. But in the UK, I love that. Like we'd pop out of the hotel, and there'd be always a corner market somewhere, a little corner market. And you go in there, and they had the milk back in the back, and they'd have a fridge. Oh, one time they had it up in the front with the flip top ice cream container. I love those too. Man, British shops are the best, man.
So they've got like bodegas over there.
Yeah.
Do they really bodegas?
They do the
Grocery
British
stores, delis kind of thing.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are major grocery stores over in the UK. When you get to some of the bigger neighborhoods, they'll have like grocery stores. But the thing is they have laws there on construction, and in order to protect, because it's an old city. This is stuff. Some of this goes back to Roman fucking times, and there's a lot of pride in that. And so it's hard to build things in England. You have to wait till something is no longer important to get in there. Like McDonald's, when they built the first McDonald's in London, I went to that thing. It was terrible. It was like in between buildings. It was 2 stories. And they had to find a location. They had to build inside of it. They had to also be careful what they did changes to when it came to the architecture. And I'm sure it's still that way over there, isn't it, Karen?
Well,
they protect. Yeah.
Andy,
you read all the.
Go ahead, John. Good.
You read all the time about some construction in Britain that uncovered a tile.
Dead bodies.
No, dead bodies too, but uncovered.
Well, that's how they found Richard III.
Yeah,
in the parking lot.
The floor of some big house, that's big Roman house or Roman ruins of some kind. They're always finding stuff like that whenever they dig for construction.
But Andy, Gary, he makes some awesome pastries and all kinds of goodies. And
Andy Morrow?
Oh my gosh. Kieran, is that a big thing for you over there? Like making the pastries and all those goodies? Because I'm telling you, this guy makes like so many good stuff. Is that like something you do with?
I would love for some of our fans and audience to meet with Kieran sometime. Like make it a public place, because I don't know. They might be crazy. I don't know. No, I think Andy is a sweetheart. He's constantly sending me shit. I have to close Facebook during shows because he's constantly, all I hear is, beep, beep, alerts. It's just like constant. And Anima, I can hear it through your headset. It's loud. Why does he message you all the time? Is he in love with you?
So I think the only person here who's seen Shazam is John.
Yep.
No.
Probably.
Martin, you seen it?
Martin has to.
Yeah, I saw it.
All right, from both of you. One, John, you can go first. Is it worth watching?
I wouldn't pay for it, but I did. But I saw it on a $5 show, so I don't feel so bad. But
so you did pay for it?
Yeah, I did pay for it, but I only paid $5.
Liar!
So.
What's for matinee? That's what he did.
Yeah, I would. It's fine watching on streaming or something, but I wouldn't. Like I said, at this point, after seeing it, I feel bad about paying for it.
Wow, Martin.
The first one was way better.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
but this one had some moments, like I mentioned, the dragon fight was awesome. It had some moments. It had some really dumb moments too.
The dragonflight was a dumb moment. I'm sorry.
No, the dragonflight was awesome.
No, that was World of Warcraft cheese. That movie was horrible. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're smoking there. But...
Hey, calling from the guy who sailed the 7 seas to watch it, it was horrible. It wasn't even worth pirating.
Shut up, Steven.
Oh man.
All right, so
it was the only booty a pirate returns.
James Gunn took the blame for this because he really did derail the movie's release.
Timing was poor on that.
I think Williams wanting the link for the show.
Yeah. But
What's
I don't
that?
have him.
I'm only here for Star Wars is Dead.
Oh shit! I thought he was in the group. I thought I added him to the group.
No.
Bad.
How you
Gary.
doing, Kieran?
Bad.
Are these
Yeah,
people?
no,
Are these people
Martin, can you
treating
send
you
it to him?
okay?
No, I don't have his info. I don't have it on
If
Twitter.
I start,
Yeah, we know. We know you can have audio problems. Don't worry.
It was a personal opinion. If you like the film, you like the film. God damn it, disclaimers of opinions now. I hate this. You sneezed. I hope that didn't offend anybody. And if it did offend anybody, well, everyone fucking sneezes.
Well, Steven, we give each other shit all the time, so.
Yes, I'm just waiting for you to get a good one off. So it's been
So
about a year.
Do you guys think that this movie for James Gunn is going to deter people from making movies?
Well,
no, everyone's already
The,
deterred due to the fact that the Snyderverse isn't coming. So you got those cultists losing their minds, and then you have them redoing everything when they already had a cast set off. Pretty much everything just feels like, hey, we have to revamp, then revamp, then revamp, then revamp, instead of just let's take the good parts out and build on that good foundation and give them something that the fans are screaming about. Why is no one taking lessons from Sonic? Why are no one taking lessons from Mario and just letting the IP grow without trying to make it something it's not? Boring.
Because they've got an agenda they've got to fulfill because of all their woke employees.
Really? Zaslav pretty much cleared out that whole division. What are you talking about?
And the ESG.
Yeah, ESG is a big part of it.
ESG sounds like something you find in Chinese food.
Yeah, it does. That's MSG, but
to be honest,
this is because their big investors are companies like BlackRock.
That's Disney.
Yeah.
But this is DC.
Well, DC has some of the same issues.
Okay.
Some of their board is, although Zaslav just cares about making money.
Come on, you guys got to be happy. We're getting Michael Keaton's Batman coming out soon. I can't wait to see Michael Keaton's
I'm excited
Batman.
about this movie now.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, it's the
Michael
Flash.
Keaton's back.
Oh,
It's the Flash, but I'm making a
It's
joke.
fucking cool.
He's going to be part of the Flash movie, I guess. He's going to have a little cameo.
No.
Yeah, he
He's
and Ben
actually-
Affleck are both in it.
Yep.
And it looks
And
like,
George Clooney.
Nobody fucking cares. Crickets. I hear.
And supposedly Nicolas Cage Superman too, right, John?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Superman,
good.
Nicolas Cage.
I think
Superman.
he's got to be added. Did he? What did you hear about that with him? Kieran?
It came from
No, Kieran. I asked Kieran.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
What have you heard about that?
to be honest, I don't really
Nicolas
follow
Cage.
up on it. I think it's less of a shit.
Thank you. I love you. You're an honorary Canadian.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I don't care. I'm not excited by that, but they're trying to show the multiverse thing.
Yeah.
And, they're just trying to show the DC multiverse thing. Let's get nuts. I like that. I like that was in there. Look, I loved Michael Keaton. I had problems with Tim Burton's, some of the stuff he did, but I loved Michael Keaton. He was good. And so I think, and I am absolutely still hoping upon all hope that we get him in Batman Beyond.
Is Batman Beyond a thing now?
Love to see that. It was. I don't know.
I thought that project was put on ice permanently, that there is no Batman Beyond project.
I just said it was.
Oh, okay. I thought there was new
always
news.
Hope.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing. I've heard nothing new.
Okay.
What have you heard, Kieran? What was that look for?
I heard Star Wars is dead.
It's dead.
Is it dead? God damn it. Fuck all you guys. I'm out of here. No.
All right, seeing as I'm the second to host, how you guys doing? It's Bucket the Fat Steven Hour of Pop Culture Minefield. We'll talk about my ego and let Kieran have the floor and just call Americans weird.
Let's get into the chat. Let's see who's all here today. Penny, of course, is here. Andy Morrow over in the UK. Zach's up in Canada. The Dork Knight in Las Vegas. Andy Morrow in the UK. Well, you mentioned him twice, Martin. What's up with that? Or is that a stutter? Do you have a stutter? E. Clay Thomason and Lady V Elements is here, or Lady 5 is here.
I think it's Lady 5.
It's
Lady
V.
5.
It's V. She's known as Venus. I know who she is.
That Venus has a double entendre, right?
Yeah, there you go.
My goodness.
What? I'm being respectful here. Part of the book, man.
Let's get into. William just joined us. I don't know why, William, you weren't in the group. I've added you to the group. I thought I added you already.
No,
so
yeah,
you're
waiting
now
for the link. How you doing?
You are now in the group, the Pop Culture Minefield TGIF group. So
perfect.
You'll get. We send an invite every Friday to everybody in the group. So I made sure you're in there today.
All right,
so
cool.
Wes, let's get into Wes Craven. No, Craven the Hunter.
Rated R.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm stoked about this being rated R because this has great implications towards the next Venom movie.
Yep.
And if Sony makes this big step that they say, look, we're going to parse, and anything that happens in our R-rated movies, it's okay with them to interact with the PG movies. The characters from the PG movie, like Spider-Man. What do you think? What's going on here with this? What is your reaction? Did you get to see the trailer?
No.
Bloody hell.
No, I
want to see this trailer.
I thought it was only at the. I thought it was only.
It is CinemaCon right now. It's the only place I got to see it.
It'll be out. It'll be out in a few weeks.
It should have come out right after, when the buzz was hitting. Because everybody's looking for it. It's not there. That's when you want it.
That's cool. I already found. You sure? Because 3 days ago it says there's Sony's first look trailer footage on YouTube. I couldn't find it.
Kieran, when is the release date supposedly for this? Do you know? Because I can't read what's there.
Around October, I believe.
Yeah. I thought it was like September, October.
Oh, he's dancing here. Look at him. He's figure skating, dancing, something.
No, another Matt Smith scene.
Matt Smith, jeez. Oh, look at that. That's classic right there. I'm really curious. What's some of the scoop news on this one that you wrote about here?
Well, it just gave a description of what people saw at CinemaCon. So they literally see Craven bite out someone's eye with his own teeth.
Bite his nose off, right? I heard he bites his nose off with someone.
Nose, yeah, nose.
Yeah, his nose.
No,
this is Kieran. Kieran Bug is with Geekosity magazine, and he wears Mighty Sutton Scoop News Rumor magazine, and he joins us for the first hour of the show on the weekends when he's available. Him and Mikey, and so I'm always grateful you're here, Kieran. Thank you very much for always joining us.
Thanks, buddy.
But he can call me buddy because we were friends before he became famous.
Well, I'm
Call me buddy, pal.
I'm gonna bail and enjoy watching all of you.
Get the fuck out of here, Bill.
Because I got the laundry on in the background, and you buddies can hear that stuff going on in the background. So I'm out of here.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that report that you were excited about.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna watch and see what this is all about. I can't wait to hear what this is.
Well, the big concern is that I liked Andre from Midnight's Edge and I talked about this, that we liked the Morbius film. It's not great. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it is good. It's very watchable. There are some fun moments in it. I really enjoyed some of the stuff they did. I thought a couple of things were dumb, but that's typical. I got to be honest. I enjoyed the film.
They weren't fully comic book accurate, but they did have a lot of comic accurate stuff in it.
They pulled a lot from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, if you actually think about it. That's where they were kind of going with the whole stuff. But
I don't think we'll be able to
get a fan side this year.
I don't think we'll be able to get a full judgment on it until all these movies are released. You don't think you'll be able to get what?
I don't think they're all released.
Until all these movies are released, I don't think they're trying to tell you a whole story with one movie. I think they're putting together something, and then they're going to put.
Yeah, don't give it all away in the trailer.
Yeah, I think they're going to put their Spider-Man
more than when they give you everything.
I think they're building their own Sinister Six.
They
got Craven.
Yeah, look,
we've got Rhino in the new movie. So we just need to come up with a few more, and we've got a Sinister Six.
Look, Avi Arad has been trying for years to get the Sinister Six thing going. He's alluded to it time and time again and never got it. I think this time they actually have a shot at it to finally get it on screen. I don't know if everybody's a big fan of it. I enjoyed the Sinister Six. I enjoyed the villains. I like the villains because, like, you know, a movie with a villain and a hero, that movie's going to only be as good as the villain. The villain has to make that film. What's this? Would have been better with Gerard Butler? Oh, look, Gerard, no matter what, they needed a younger actor playing Craven. So they got Russell Crowe, which was Gerard Butler before Gerard Butler. Because it kind of went that way. It was him and then Gerard. And now it's this kid. So both of them are old enough to be his dad. Gerard and what's his name? Russell Crowe. They're both old enough to be his dad. And so I think he would have been good as Craven's dad too. But they're going, you got to remember this about these movies. We talked about it, and we're going to get into this with James Bond in a minute, because they want somebody in their mid-30s, so they got at least a good solid 10 to 15 years with that actor, because that's how far apart the movies might be, each sequel. So you might get 3 to 5 years. So you want to be able to get at least, anywhere from 3 to half a dozen movies out of that actor before they have to go away. And this is something Keith and I talked ad nauseum about, that people keep wanting these guys in their 40s and 50s. It's like, no. Like, Idris Elba should be Bond, but he should be Bond on television. They need to start adapting some of the later books of James Bond.
Yeah.
With the older books, because he's older in the books. I'm talking about the books that came out in the 80s. And he was older, more seasoned, and Idris Elba would nail it as that version of Bond. Yeah, but I don't know if they're ever going to get... Amazon better get smart with some of the fucking IPs that they purchased, because they just making one stupid decision after another.
That movie that show that shall not be named.
The show that shall not be named.
Yeah, Rings of Power.
Fuck you, Steven.
Don't click on that link yet. I'm still trying to figure it out, because I can't tell if this footage is real or not.
Are you afraid of it? But let's move on to the next one here, which is James Bond. This is exciting news. This is exciting news, man. So we've got a replacement Searchland's new frontrunner. Who is this frontrunner?
Sorry about that. So let's just say he's been up and coming in Britain for the past few years. He's called James Norton.
Oh, I know this guy, yeah. So he's the new frontrunner. Has anybody, is Barbara Broccoli or anybody involved with the production company said anything?
No, they haven't. This is strictly on...
Within
you
the
see,
media?
over in the UK... Well, no, not with the media. This is strictly on, betting shops. Over in the UK, whenever there's a new James Bond actor, we all go down the betting shops and put our money on who the next one will be.
Because the guy that's playing Craven is also up in the list there, right near the top.
Yeah, he is.
And of course, still Henry Cavill.
I didn't know
Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. I thought Aaron Taylor Johnson was American.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
Is he?
British. No,
I thought he was British.
Taylor is British.
Too.
Right,
Tom
he's got
Hardy's
dual
been up
citizenship.
there for a while. Idris Elba will never do it. He's too old to play the cinematic Bond. Too old.
Well, so's Tom Hardy.
Tom
yeah.
Hardy's in his 40s. Yep, too old. They're going to want somebody in their 30s to carry the torch for a while. Now, I'll tell you what. Of all of those names, if he doesn't get to play the TV version of Bond, Idris Elba should play Q. I mean, not Q, M.
Yeah.
Oh.
He would be fantastic.
He has the presence for that.
I mean,
See,
I don't know how many of you guys
Henry Cavill's
are fans of...
Henry Cavill's a popular choice too.
he's still a popular choice, but we've heard nothing but he's out. Everything, he's out. That he's even alluded, no, I'm out. When Amazon bought MGM, Amazon has problems with Henry Cavill for some reason. I don't know if it's Bezos or what.
Well, they're working with him for the 40K stuff.
I know. And because of that, I think he's out. That's why I believe he's out.
I think he's out because he's too big a name.
He's too big a name. He's become too big, and I don't mean physically, because he's fucking awesome in size. But as an actor, his name's finally reached that point to where people are now. I mean, fuck, man. I swear to God, DC messed with him for too long, and now he's a big name, and they screwed the pooch with him. They got him to agree. He stepped up to the plate, and then they went, "I just fuck with you," had the hand out, and then like did the doing the hair thing. It's like, oh, you dick. That was what happened with him. That was not cool. Hey, Donnie Pierce is here. Pop culture minefield. Now that Hasbro and Mattel are teaming up, I can imagine a toy line based on Power Rangers Justice League comic book crossover.
We lost William.
You're breaking up bad, Gary.
We're going to be talking about it in a little bit. I said this is going to fucking happen if I share my screen. Anytime I have to share my screen, this happens.
Okay.
There's William.
Am I coming in clearly, or are you guys breaking up? I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, we hear you. That was me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I thought I was
every time Gary shares
I share a screen.
He breaks up because he's on a low end laptop.
I break up with myself.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't me.
He also likes to.
Holy shit! I just made William laugh. That's the first time.
No, I laughed all last week.
I cracked so many jokes with you. Fuck you. You didn't laugh at a goddamn thing I said. You just laughed.
I have to rewatch it.
That's like, it's monumental. I just made a mental note. I will never forget that.
I laugh all the time. Sorry. But no, I don't think Cavill. I think Cavill's too big. And when they get that big, their schedules and everything else, it's a lot harder for them to maneuver the character.
They also become too powerful. Oh, shit. We got some serious black in the show today. Look at this shit.
Hey, Keith.
Keith!
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Going well.
Gary's mean.
Pretty good, man.
Hey.
We have not gotten to the Mattel thing because I have a different reaction to the Mattel thing. We'll get to that in the second hour because I look at that as a nothing burger, that Mattel team up. And it's funny because somebody else said the same thing, and I'm like, there you go. I'm not the only one that feels this way. Because they've already teamed up before. Yeah, but they've done work together.
Here's the thing. The reason why
we'll save this second hour. Okay. We're focusing on Kieran here.
Okay.
Because Kieran is so adorable and lovable, and we don't ever want to make him have to sit in the wings.
But the whole Lucasfilm, Luke Skywalker thing makes that kind of different. That's all I'm going to say.
Kieran.
Yep.
Frown. There you go. There you go.
You want to spot?
What are you doing? Fuck off, mate.
Kieran, you have to remember one thing, that Gary probably has your face on a body pillow somewhere in the house. And
shut up, Steve.
Back of your head.
I swear to God, I'm not letting you see anything in my room again.
I don't want to see your body
house. I worry he's going to be waiting outside.
He'll put his picture on a bunch of bushes outside your front door, so it always looks like he's staring.
Your house.
He's already sent me enough dick pics.
It's Richard Burton.
How far did you have to zoom in on them?
Oh, God.
Well, I don't think they've invented a camera for that yet.
Yeah, there's nothing above 8K right now that helps you.
No, absolutely, Monkey Juice. That's what I was talking about. They've teamed up before. But I want to get into this. Michael Shannon is the next one. He didn't want the Flash role in this movie to offend Zack Snyder. What was he worried about with that?
Probably get on the streaming collaborations.
I mean, Warner Brothers have seriously screwed over Zack Snyder over the years, and he's taken notice of that. And, well, like a lot of us, he didn't want anything to do with Warner Brothers because of it. But when they asked him, he was intrigued by the role, but he didn't want to take it without asking for Zack's blessing, because he wanted to make sure that, there wasn't really any bad blood, if that makes sense. Because if there was, then he would have said no. But Zack gave him his blessing. He was saying, go for it. Because, that's just the kind of guy Zack Snyder is. He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah,
I think it was a matter of professional courtesy.
So I got to tell you, I like the scenes. The reactions are really mixed with what's her name,
Sasha Carl,
the Supergirl. Yeah, her, and a lot of mixed reactions. I gotta tell you, I don't know. I can't tell. She seems really stiff in her acting, and you need somebody that's brings it. They got to be able to bring that character. But I don't really understand who she is. She's an alternate universe version of what's her full name? Something.
Well, here's the thing about that character. Here's the thing.
Kara.
Here's the thing about that character. This is actually based on a version of that character from the comics.
From the New 52 and beyond?
Yeah. When they were exploring all the different universes.
Bad ideas. Got it.
And remember who made this. Okay, you're talking Toby and all the rest of all of the rest of the brain surgeons who were basically just driving all of DC into the ground. These are the people that were telling Zack Snyder how to make his movies. Okay, let that never really be lost in all of this. These were the people in charge. And with Hamada, they finally had someone who was basically kissing up to them the same way that a certain person's kissing up to CBS running Star Trek. So, I mean, that's really what you have here.
Well,
that's all.
A lot of the storylines also based on Flashpoint, where Superman was not Superman, but he was in a lab and kept away, and he's like the scrawny Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So that scene where you see her, she's in the hospital gown. That's what that's from.
Yeah,
because Superman in Flashpoint was a test subject.
Wasn't he locked in a room by Lex Luthor in a room of red kryptonite and wasn't able to grow up and emaciate as hell?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because they also did a cartoon adaptation with that as well. And eventually he found his powers. It was to keep him subdued.
Wow. So, but Shannon does the movie. Oh, I'm sorry, William. Go ahead.
Did you just compare Alex Kurtzman to Walter Hamada? Was that was I reading that?
That's exactly. I meant every word that I said. Word that I said. Because look, William, this characterization that I have is actually based on people that work in the business, some of whom know both Alex Kurtzman and Walter Hamada. You know,
results matter. Results matter.
Results do matter. Hey, I'm down with it, but you know, Kurtzman is not a great person to actually know, based on people who actually have worked with him. And Hamada was just way out of his element. He only took that job because of Toby. Toby was his boy. You know, he took that job and ran it a particular way. And after what he did with Joker, that would have gotten anybody fired if he wasn't Toby's boy.
And for those of you who don't know, what happened was Warner made no money off of that
$500 million mistake.
It was just dumb.
It was dumb. It was stupid. How do you have a film like that come out, make all that money, win an Academy Award or two, and you basically make next to nothing off of it? How do you do that?
Walter Hamada.
If they hadn't been owned by AT&T at the time, who didn't care about Warner Brothers, they would have all been fired a lot sooner than later. In fact, none of this would have really happened.
That does not disguise the fact that none of these executives knew what the blank they were doing. They were the ones.
I got to tell you, William, it took too long for Zaslav to show up.
Yeah,
it really did.
It did. Yeah. And be honest with you, some of the decisions he's made. Listen, he's going to be infinitely better than his predecessors, but I'm not 100% on board with the decisions that they made coming in. I believe in James Gunn's ability as a storyteller. I have no problem with that. I think he can do just fine.
I agree with you.
My problem is they didn't take full inventory of what they walked into before they made these decisions, because now you could have a dilemma. let's say for hypothetically, the Flash comes in and does a lot of money, and people make connections to these characters. Now, retail says when you do well, you keep doing well until that money runs out. What's going to happen now? Have they come up with a contingency plan for when people get connected to these IPs? To now, you're going on to something completely different. Now, I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm wondering, is the question going to be brought up in the boardroom to where, this reboot, and I think reboot is a synonym for stupidity, because all it does is basically disengage your audience. And it's disengaging an audience, not just the hardcore geeks like me. The hardcore geeks are always going to be there, but the casual fan, they've made it so easy for people to just turn their heads away from their product and move on to something more shinier, more colorful, more organized. Now, with resetting everything, you're adding 2 more years to something that you already let languish for 9 years. If the Flash comes out and does money, should that not change the trajectory of some of these decisions that they've come up with in the last 4 or 5 months? If Supergirl, he has a Supergirl World of Tomorrow plan, which I love that story. But what happens if there's a connection made, when a $1 billion movie with the Flash, with Sasha Calle's Supergirl, what kind of decisions are made? And I think that those things should have been thought about before you hire James Gunn and say, here, there should have been a line of delineation that says, okay, James Gunn, we're going to bring you in, but at this point, Abdi and DeLuca should have been the ones to sweep up what was left over and make a cohesive transition into whatever he's doing. Now we got a lot of confusion that has turned some people off, and some people might not give some of these movies a chance because they figure they're a road to nowhere, which is unfortunate.
William, let me at least say this. I agree with what you're saying, but here's the big exception. Coming into all of this, Zaslav had to deal with the fact that you were dealing with a company in Warner Brothers that was pretty much close to broke. Okay? They were running on fumes. And that whole thing he came in, that mantra that he had, we got to have $3 billion. You do realize he was kind of not telling us the whole story with that $3 billion thing. Warner Brothers was down by almost $7 billion. $3 billion is a nice start. Batgirl had to go. There was no way. Everything was about getting as much money as possible. You were making decisions based on the things that needed to be done almost immediately. I agree with you that in any other times, when the company was in better financial health, everything you just said makes sense.
Reboots don't help that, though, because you're basically...
I get it, but you got to do whatever you can do to make as much money as possible.
I agree, but how does that what they're doing is contrary to that, though, because you have valuable assets that you've already spent the money on that are already in queue, so you should capitalize on those. You should have done
exactly.
What do we have?
Just to compound what you're saying, William. They had interest in the cast too.
Yeah.
There was an absolute interest in the cast.
I have this coffee here, right? I know this coffee is in my hand. This is the Flash, and the money that the Flash can make and anything around that. Now, this maybe money down the line is Superman Legacy and everything else. That's 2 years away. Now, when you buy a company that's $43 billion and almost as much in debt as it was worth, what should you go through? The money that's in your hand right now, or the maybe money, the hypothetical, the theoretical money from 2 years from now? Because every time you come up with any iteration of Superman, the man babies that clutch on to their version of Superman, it takes time for their death grip to loosen. So even if he makes a great Superman movie that's like Godfather level, it doesn't matter because it's going to take time for people to embrace it, and they may not have that time. And
again, everything takes time. Seriously, everything takes time. And I agree. You got to make your decisions. But Zaslav is in a very unique position, unlike, say, Disney, which is he can make these decisions immediately. And he was doing what needed to be done to get the character, to get everything turned around in a way. Is every decision going to be the right decision? Probably not. But you had kicked out a bunch of people who should have known better. Talking about AT&T is only a small percentage of the problem. A lot of the problem started before even AT&T got there. I mean, how do you go through that entire situation with Justice League? And then you finally get a guy in there who you wanted to have in there, turn the entire thing around, and all they asked for was just a little more time to improve the movie, and you say no because, you know, you're going to get yours with your Christmas bonus. You know, that's the mentality that you had there. And many of the people that were still there when Hamada got there were some of the same people that made those decisions.
Yeah,
so
I
you're
agree
making
with
a bunch.
Cleaning house. Cleaning house was the right thing to do.
You had a lot of decisions made by a lot of people who never should have been making those decisions. These are people that didn't know what the blank they wanted.
All along. We need to reel it back in here. Basically, look, there's no question with Warner Brothers that they needed to go. They all needed to go. I've never liked Toby Emmerich. Jeff Johns is a fucking idiot. People go,
God.
"Oh, he wrote Green Lantern." I'm like, "Fuck that." I read those
Jeff
comics.
Johns
They're terrible.
Look, Ben Affleck's, I'd say 50% of the reason why he's out that door is because of Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns freaking stabbed him in the back. I wouldn't
bet against that. I guarantee you I wouldn't bet against that because, he stabbed him right in the back. But I do want to get to this here with the Batman v Superman, startling details on the controversial scrap scene written by Kieran Bugg and Mikey Sutton, which means Mikey Sutton had something and gave it to you to finish. Right?
Yes.
So let's get into this because I heard about this and I'm very interested in this scene. So what was the controversial scene and why was it cut?
A Batman Lois Lane Superman love triangle.
Right.
I'm so glad it got caught.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know whose idea that was. Whose idea was it? Do you know whose idea that was?
That's to cut it or to make it?
To make it, and then who decided to cut it?
It was Zack Snyder who decided to want to make it, but the studio cut it.
Who at the studio so we can clap them on the back, even if they're assholes?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't get that info, but all I know is that the studio overruled him on this. They didn't want it, and it didn't happen.
Thank God. Talk about getting into the weeds. Into the goddamn weeds. Any other special things you want to talk about this week?
Well, going back to a bit ago when you were talking about Supergirl's role in The Flash.
Right.
I think it's basically just following up on a little tease from Man of Steel, because if you remember when Superman went in search of the crashed Kryptonian ship in, where was it, the Arctic? Or one of the pods was open.
That's right.
So maybe Supergirl does exist in that original timeline, but she's in that predicament that we see her in The Flash.
She's in a prison or something.
Exactly. So maybe that's where I'm thinking that's where she was during the time of Man of Steel, but in this new timeline with no Superman, they figure out of her existence and they go and pick her up.
I'm hoping she can handle the role. I've heard nothing but good things about this movie so far from people who've seen it. They said it's really good. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. But it's all leading to, it's a cul-de-sac. I mean, it's leading to an end. I don't know what part's going to continue. I just don't know. But I do know that I heard that Ezra Miller delivers on the film. He's better than because he was not very good in the other films. I didn't like him. But
which Ezra Miller delivers? Because there's about 4 or 5 of them.
You never know. We'll just wait and see. When do we see that film? When does that come out?
June 16th.
June? Not very far, man. We're getting close.
Ballsy of them to have that advanced showing, though. I mean, it definitely shows that they do believe
they've got
in this
some
film.
faith in it. Yep, they've got some faith in it.
I think the real story is Andy Muschietti. You know, he has proven that he is a top-tier talent if he could pull this off.
As a director, yeah.
In any future plans they have with DC films, I think he should be at the top of the list to take his pick of anything he wants to do.
Absolutely. And Dorknet, that's cool that RMB saw it and loved it. Because I do trust RMB a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, one of the only few film directors out there, writers that I would trust with anything is Kevin Smith, because he cries at everything. Fuck that guy. I'm just being a dick.
So, one last thing before I sign off in about 10 minutes. Jason Momoa just came out not long ago, just like an hour or
he's
two
gay?
ago. No. You wish.
I wish.
Yeah, you like to get wet with it, wouldn't you?
I would have heard a lot more ladies screaming right now.
No, but
leaping off buildings.
Half of them have fainted, and the other half are real mad.
I felt the great
So what
disturbance
did he
from
do?
the
I'm
force.
sorry, I interrupted you. Everybody's like falling in.
Oh, no,
Like millions of voices crying out.
Great on it. Like Star Wars.
So you're saying Dylan Mulvaney has a chance?
Dylan I'm
No,
sorry,
but,
I derailed your thing. Go ahead, dude.
It's cool. Came out earlier to say that, he basically dissed Warner Brothers and also praised them at the same time, because he got into, it's like this, he's thrown Aquaman 2 under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's basically said, they've altered his pitch and he's not happy about it. But he says that there are great things coming at DC, so I'm thinking that's basically him confirming, I'm done as Aquaman, I'm coming in as Lobo.
Yep.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I'm all in on that one. Hi, Arwen. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good weekend. Happy Friday to everybody. I don't think I've said that. And of course, AF Watcher 88 is here. And AF Watcher says, what is it? I wish that he was gay.
Wow.
I'm disappointed they didn't do the trench, or not the trench, but that whatever it was called for where they were going to do
trench.
Yeah, it was trench. Yeah, okay. Where they
his original pitch was a horror film.
Yeah. I was like,
no. That was turned out that was a cover story, is what that was. The trench was a cover
Black
story.
Manta.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay, but it should have been made. It was a good concept. I was looking
my
forward
face
to
right
it.
I don't know. The problem with DC, and the thing that the Flash does put front and center, is that they haven't had a lot of event level A-lister movies in the last 5 or 6 years. And all these concepts that drift away from the main line have really hurt them. And instead of having Superman of any kind on the big screen for the last 5 years, I'm getting Polka Dot Man. I'm getting Weasel.
My God, yeah. Jesus Christ.
And none of those, not to disparage those characters, but
it's okay to disparage them.
Yeah, the reason why the Flash, if they have so much faith in the Flash, and that like the Flash might do, is a event level movie that they're treating like an event level movie. So
this is something that we're used to seeing with Marvel, that we're not used to seeing with DC. DC kind of just kept tripping and falling on itself. Yeah. This is the first chance to see them finally do it, pull off a Marvel level event film, and I'm putting my hopes into it.
When you don't have anyone in charge of anything, that's what you get. That's why I'm saying Kevin Tsujihara and all the executives.
That's it. Tsujihara. That's who I couldn't remember the name of.
Yeah.
He was screwing it up before anybody else.
They were all screwing it up. They never allowed anyone to be in charge. Zack Snyder's role was the same role that Joss Whedon had. It wasn't a Kevin Feige role at all. That is what has come out in all of the different investigations, both in the Justice League and everything that happened before. He was getting orders from Kevin Tsujihara and the executives and Toby and all those about how to do stuff. That was the relationship he had. And so he was basing what he was doing based on how much they would allow him to do. That's where a lot of this comes from. And so really, when you combine that with what we learned from Script Doctor, what the actual thing that they were attempting to do with the DCEU from the very beginning, and why they wanted Christopher Nolan to head it up, all that together is really how we ended up here. Okay? And that was the whole thing about, Christopher Nolan's figured it out. He's got the formula. we'll just do it all his way. We let him run everything, and he will give us Batman and flying Batman and female Batman and Batman who swims and Batman who runs real fast.
You forgot about Zebra. You forgot about Zebra Batman. That's not.
Oh, and that one too.
Yeah,
and
Rainbow
so
Batman.
that's what it was. That's what the executives wanted from Zack Snyder. They wanted him to basically do his best Chris Nolan and to give them all of that. They asked for it.
The biggest mistake they ever made was the hiring.
But you don't have anyone in charge. And so when you don't have anybody in charge,
if Jeff Robinoff,
you get this. Here's what you get right there. It's crap. It's crap.
If they had gone with Jeff Robinoff instead of Tishihara, we would be in a different world. That was the one bad hire that is the biggest.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one.
They've made, and it hurts to this day. You know.
Well, we got to
the
wrap
whole thing
up
with
for the
Green
first
Lantern
hour here. We got to wrap up. We have to go into our commercial break for the first hour, which means we bid Kieran Bug adieu.
Have a good one, Kieran.
Thank you for being here, my friend. I hope it wasn't too chaotic for you. Love you being here, man. It's
Kieran, you're a beast.
Have a good day.
What? I'm a what?
You're
a beast.
Is that what you said?
Oh, a beast.
Yeah.
Beast.
You are a total
You're a beast of another kind.
Your reporting is on point, man. I mean,
Always.
you do a fantastic job.
And you're a
thank
halfway
you.
decent writer.
You don't have to come back next week.
I love your writing, buddy. I do. I think you're a great writer. I love what you're doing right now. I hope he hires somebody to help you because I know you're getting inundated. But you're doing a great job, man. Keep it up. And thanks for being here with us, man. We appreciate it.
And you were a tolerable host as always, Gary.
Thank you.
I thought he was going to say retarded host because it sounded like that
All right.
coming.
Yeah. Dickie. Okay, we're out of here for our commercial break. We'll be right back in 1 minute.
Ta-ta.
Hi, guys. This is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow. We survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. God, that guy's voice is so annoying, isn't it?
I know.
We are now in the second hour. I want to thank Kieran again for being here. He's so awesome. I appreciate him taking time out with us. We have three particular subjects I want to talk about other than Star Wars. Star Wars, because I don't agree with the phrasing Star Wars is dead. It's like, no, it's not. It's never going to die. Star Wars is Star Wars. What is dead is Disney Star Wars. Disney's attempt at Star Wars has failed miserably. Horribly.
So far.
It is, I have no faith in it now. Zero. There's nothing.
I have some in Ahsoka still.
Nah, fuck Ahsoka. I'm not going to fucking watch any of this shit through Disney. Fuck them. They have screwed up way too much. They fucked up season 3 of Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. That was really the last hope. And it's like, nope, Kennedy, look, Chapek did this. A lot of people don't know this, that Bob Iger basically said, hey, Kathleen Kennedy, here's a red button over here. Go look at this. So she was like working on all these other projects. And then Chapek steps in, and Chapek's like, hey, what are you doing over here working on other projects? Get back on Star Wars. Iger had gotten her off of Star Wars, and Chapek put her back. And she stepped in and started fucking with everything from Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and everything. She's got her fingers in everything now. And she's challenging Bob Iger. She's absolutely throwing up her peacock feathers and making announcements when she was told not to. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about the fandom. Not one iota, even though there is no Star Wars without the fandom. The fandom is what made Star Wars. That's what made the value of Star Wars, because you have idiots like us out there that went out there and not only saw the movie once, but saw it multiple times. And then we would go buy every bit of merchandise because we're fans. And Kathleen Kennedy doesn't care about that. She didn't come in. She doesn't know Star Wars.
Merchandising really is more important than even box office.
Yeah, that's why George Lucas put so much energy into it.
That's right. And if you lose your merchandising, you're lost. Not completely, but you are lost.
They have lost so much money.
Retailers,
their sale. Since 2012, they have lost money. They have not put Star Wars into the black. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have the what do they call it? The black edition for Star Wars figures and stuff. I buy those. I've got them right here. I've got all of them. I've got, all the ones I like. I have all the different Boba Fett's, and I've got Mando. I've got several different Darth Vaders, you know. I like collecting those. What do they call them? Black Label? Is that
Black Series.
Black Series. Yeah. And it's a great product.
Yeah,
but
I'm still trying to get
when
my
they start
hands on a Black
changing
Series
names
cartoon.
of things, they start, oh my God, when they change Boba Fett's Slave One to Boba Fett's spaceship or starship, whatever they called it, I'm like, I'm not buying it. I will buy something old off of eBay before I buy your crap.
You want to kill a toy franchise? You take away Slave Leia toys and then watch how it's successful after that one.
I just think that this is another rendition of people who are more executives than they are creatives.
Oh, yeah.
Executives thinking that they can do what creatives do. It's the same thing with Star Trek. You have executives thinking that they can do what creatives do. And that's not the case. Yeah. I marvel at the fact that they actually genuinely think that someone that sits down to create something, that somehow that's kind of easy. And it's not.
It's sort of like that story of that Spielberg told of Kennedy, like saying, instead of getting the girl, what if he just gets the dog?
Well, technically, that's what they ended up doing to Han Solo, because in the end, all he had was Chewie.
Yep.
Oh, that's not true. He did get the lightsaber in the gut, so he did
jeez.
What? It did happen, and then he got a prequel that was just as horrible getting it from the other end.
Yeah, it's bad merchandising. The toys aren't selling. You've got toys that should be selling. They're in the bargain bin. It's bad marketing all around. Lucas was so much better at this. Look, I got into my first fight on the bulletin board. You remember that shit back in the 90s? I was on a Star Wars BBS and got into a fight with a guy because the guy called Lucas a creative genius. I said, there was a creative genius in him at one point, but it became a marketing genius. And that's where all of it lies now. A creative genius wouldn't create Jar Jar Binks. A marketing genius would.
Jar Jar Binks was trying to nail a kid audience, I guess a younger generation, where they would think it would just be silly fun.
Well, the kid audience, that just sounds weird.
Oh, jeez.
Your mind went there, mine didn't, so I'm okay.
Your words went there.
No, your depiction of my words went there.
When they released that toy set that they put out with Grogu and Luke Skywalker and R2-D2, and that ended up selling, that pissed Kathleen off. She couldn't handle it. And that's the reason why Luke Skywalker is pretty much persona non grata from them now.
That's not true. He's a Hail Mary, Keith. Don't forget the Hail Mary.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hail Mary. Got it.
Because they do own all the likenesses now to all those legacy characters, right, in digital format, so we can see more.
Doesn't matter to her. It really doesn't matter to her.
I know that.
She has a hard-on hate for all the stuff that George Lucas pretty much created.
I know.
So
and it's unnatural, the amount of hate she has for that.
I guess she doesn't like getting him coffee.
Look, not all IPs, period, are created equal. It's not just Disney IPs. IPs have value. Each one has its own value. That's why I laugh when you hear an actress demanding equal pay to her leading man in a film, and it's like, well, what do you bring to the show? Talent's not everything. Talent's not the thing that they're paying for. They're paying for box office. They want asses in seats. Is your name going to put asses in the seats, or is the leading man going to do it? And that's why the argument of women getting equal pay for the movie is fucking ridiculous. Now, if the woman is the big star, then let her get paid the big paycheck and everybody else gets theirs. But a majority of the time you hear this, you only hear about it when it's a man that's the leading man, like Harrison Ford at one point was the biggest, most paid box office star going. He had some competition. Eddie Murphy put some competition in there. But Tom Cruise now, I think he is still holding it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is it him or Ryan Reynolds right now?
It's Tom Cruise.
It's Tom Cruise.
And it's barely that, but it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Really?
Top Gun Maverick helped a lot.
Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah,
and I refer to Top Gun Maverick as the second greatest Star Wars film ever made after Empire Strikes Back. Because they stole from, they admitted it. They stole from Star Wars.
And Donnie, 2 of those IPs were not Disney IPs to begin with. Only High School Musical was. The Simpsons is Fox. And the Orville was
Fox too.
Was it Fox?
Yeah,
start on Fox.
Hulu, Fox, Disney.
It's on Hulu now, but Fox.
Again, I will say this: if you really want a clue as to a company being full of what, they do have all the rights to Buffy right now. They could do whatever they wanted with that character, and they choose not to. It is a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not about, they just haven't gotten around. It is a choice. If you want a character that is ready-made to go with the kind of audiences that,
they have a big fan base.
Yeah,
they have a big
you could do that. You could do that right. In fact, you could do it one of 2 ways. You could reboot it, or you could find a way of extending it and adding brand new characters to it and going from there. But either way, it's money on the table, and they're leaving it there on purpose.
And by the way, with the Luke Skywalker thing, he's never going to go away. There's no freaking way he's going to go away, because look, again, this brings up the Mattel team up with Hasbro. That's where the money is with the legacy characters. That's where the money is. They know that. And the toy manufacturers want to make money. So if we see stuff come out with Star Wars, they know that Luke Skywalker is one of the top selling ones going. Period.
I got a
Star
question.
Wars
there.
versus Transformers.
Is that a good thing though? Because does that show me how they've have they undertaken building their legacy? Because I'm 48, right? I'm tired. I have grown up my entire life dealing with the with the Skywalker legacy. As somebody who grew up seeing these movies in the theater, I'm ready for the next Star Wars things or several things to not have
very much so. That's why the Mandalorian and Grogu were good, but then they abused it with Grogu. Grogu,
but it's still in that backyard, though. It's still in that backyard. I think the problem with Star Wars, for me, is that they're too afraid to leave the Skywalker backyard. Even with the Mandalorian, that's still in the Skywalker zeitgeist, and it's like, wow,
all of their ideas to move forward suck. They have no.
Andor. Bring up Andor, Keith. Bring up Andor.
Well, no. Hold on. Let me at least get to this. How the heck do you come up with a sentient rock? Seriously, come on.
Don't trigger Steven. Don't trigger him.
Because
dinosaurs.
in the original West End game Star Wars RPG, there was a sentient crystal race that were Jedi. They were crystal. They were like crystalline computers. That's how their intelligence was.
It sounds a lot better than the Rock Geode.
Yeah, it is a lot better because I
mean, Navigator.
Let's sum it up this way. Instead of looking at Geode as a single entity here, I think the problem is with that the thing they're pushing now is the High Republic, and from what we see, a lot of the High Republic is not well received. You're seeing this in bookstores with the books on the floor in front of actual Timothy Zahn books being displayed, and you're not seeing them sell. The other problem is we have a backtrack history of not only how Lucasfilm and Disney has acted, it's how they've treated their fans online when it comes to accusations of racism, transphobia, and all of that stuff, while backing the people that they claim that we're being racist against, who are the most vile people online, should stay off of social media when they have a project releasing. I think it goes hand in hand. They're both the infighting and the outfighting, whether it be the fan or inside Lucasfilm, debatable if it's happening, is causing a friction, and they can't make a creative character. Going back to what Keith said, is there is no creativity there because they're only looking to create one thing: money. And that is the difference between characters and money. Unless you actually branch out and attack Imagineers, as an example, to create something that can benefit not only old fans but new fans and start a new, so to say, Skywalker legacy, you are always going to go running around in a circle and end up with nothing but failure.
And again, this is really what a lot of Hollywood today is dealing with. This is the reason why I'm against Kurtzman. You know, you can't just go to all your marketing people and have them help you create something. That is not how you be creative. You need creatives. You need people that can create things. You know, if you can't get that, you're never going to work it. And if you have no real ability to create yourself, that will come out. That will will out. And you see what Star Wars has become. It's being driven into the ground. You see what Star Trek has become, driven straight into the ground. You see every single thing that you had people who were truly creative, truly loved what they did, being taken over by people who don't understand it. You know, I would love it if this were all just about people that were just being gatekeepers. But you know what? That doesn't cover the rest of the evidence that is out there, and especially when it comes to merchandising. This is what I've been saying. Gary and I have been talking about this for the last 2 years. Pay attention to where the money is. The money's not there. It isn't.
Yeah. It's sort of like in the oil business. You need to pay attention where you get hits. If you keep going after dry hole after dry hole, that's losing money. You've got to look to where there's some lucrative digs. Do your proper due diligence and research. Now, with Star Wars, I mean, I wanted to show this real quick. We've got some of the Mattel stuff here. Let me drop us to this one. That one. There we go. We've got some cool toys still coming out from Mattel. But look at this. Right off the top, very first page. Mandalorian ship, and then Grogu. Finally, we get down here. We get that's actually the classic Millennium Falcon, classic X-wing. Uno is a horrible game. I hate Uno. What a terrible game.
Welcome to the club.
But this is what's selling right now because they're not putting a lot of the effort into it. Do we lose William? I think we lost William.
He's still here. He stepped away.
Oh, okay.
He didn't want to hear Kurtzman Trek despaired.
No, I don't think it's that.
You know what? Again, I love the characters when they were being handled by Brian Fuller. I liked what he had, but he's a creative. Kurtzman's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Baby Yoda, man.
Uh-oh.
Baby Yoda sells because people care about these characters more than they care.
Yes.
Don't start this shit with me, William. Look at that.
That's coming in. And listen, I understand because I was there, but their regard for some of the old school Star Wars stuff isn't as strong, even if it's available to them. All this stuff is available to them. You can only care about the Skywalker legacy so long.
Yes,
so
I agree.
And that's their problem.
Yes.
I don't think Star Trek has that problem, by the way. like I said, I've been following Star Trek probably for as long as you guys, and some of the problems that have been there have always been there. It's just that we have a lot more access to the information. Kurtzman, at the end of the day, pick the right people to push his storyline forward, and that's why you have what you have. And now the dark era of Star Trek being driven into the ground, like I said last week, was 2005 to 2016, with the exception of the movies, when no one wanted to touch Star Trek because of its fandom was just a pain in the ass to deal with.
The
purist and I'm one of those fans.
Yeah. The thing I find funny about that is, it's like, let me get this straight. You've got a built-in audience, and you're going to have a problem with that. That just tells me that you've got the wrong people in charge when I hear that. That's a terrible excuse.
No, okay, I disagree, because built-in audience means that you're resting on laurels. You have to keep that audience going forward. That built-in audience is where it is.
It's not rocket science.
But you can't live on that built-in audience, though. You
have to keep trying to build on it, but you do not let go of that audience.
Sometimes that building is going to rub against the built-in audience that you have. It's just reality of evolution sometimes.
But again, the success of Terry Matalas proves that what you need are people that actually are creative. Period. You need creative people. You know, to me, Alex Kurtzman is a rotten creative, but he's an administrator, is really what he is. He's a politician. He's a balance guy. You know, the executives love him because he knows how to deal with them. That's how he was able to get Netflix to put in all that money. Of course, now Netflix doesn't want to deal with him because they thought they got screwed on that deal. So
Netflix think they get screwed on every deal, though, to be fair. So
but you know, at least when it comes to certain things, it just seems like, for the most part, they know what they're talking about. They know the numbers. You know, when CBS was trying to convince people how much of a success Discovery was, and Netflix like shaking their head going, no, it's not. They had the numbers. Netflix actually did have the numbers. CBS was in the middle of its own conflict with itself, okay, between Paramount and them. And Kurtzman was basically taking orders from one particular side.
Take Kurtzman out of the game. What do we have?
Take Kurtzman out of the game?
What do we have?
You have a lot of creatives that pitched a lot of Star Trek stuff to CBS
that are not going to get anywhere.
That weren't allowed to get anywhere because the person running CBS was not a science fiction fan.
Les Moonves hated sci-fi.
Les Moonves was a creep of the highest order. He was an asshole, and he had no understanding of what science fiction entertainment was.
Tell us how you really feel.
But a bunch of people with great ideas without that administrator, where are we at? See, it's a necessary part of it.
Well, the original idea for Discovery was so much better than what we got.
That's right. It was way better.
They fired him. They fired the guy that created it.
So, you know, I really love Picard. I talked about it with you guys last week. I binged it at least 4 times.
Oh, season 3?
Yeah. God,
well, you have to be specific then.
Yeah, I know, right? I hated seasons 1 and 2, but season 3 of Mando was just trash. I gave it a 2 out of 10 on our review show yesterday. Yeah, Thursday night nerd fight. No, that was Wednesday. Star Wars is Wednesday. Sorry, Star Trek is Thursday.
I think Kurtzman would be very good if he were to allow Terry Matalas to keep going down the road that he's going with the characters and stuff that are under his purview.
Dude,
okay. I'm not saying fire Kurtzman. I'm just saying that Terry Matalas.
With the popularity of season 3, as Spock would say, logic dictates.
Check out this link. I think we could actually play it live if you wanted to, but it's, you know, at some point in time, I put it in the private chat.
Oh, what is it?
It's called Regeneration. It's from the Roddenberry archives. And
I watched that this morning. That's amazing.
You did? Yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'll watch it after the show because I don't want us to get too far in the weeds.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We can watch it after the show.
Well,
right I get loaded. So I
want
to
get into some
other things here because I gave you some links, Martine. If you'll pull up the first one on Indiana Jones there from Deadline. Or no, Variety. It's from Variety.
Give me a second. I'm working on that.
While he's doing that, I did want to let you guys know the Salty Trekker channel is going to pop my Battlestar Galactica cherry starting. So we're doing.
Which version?
So we're doing the reboot first, but like the way they explained it to me is it's like a mini series. It's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then there's the actual 4 seasons, and then there's like a couple movies or something. I don't know.
Blood and Chrome.
They've got it. In Razor. Razor was another one.
Yeah.
So they've got it all mapped out, and we're watching it together on a Plex server every Saturday morning at 9. We're going to commit to watching.
Yeah, I think it's the last 2 seasons where it kind of just derailed itself.
Well, I'm excited because I've never seen it, and they're huge fans of it, and so they just based off of our.
They had a nifty idea, but I just think that they didn't pull it off well.
Danny, I think you're going to love it. To me, what Ronald D. Moore and David Icke did with that idea and the stuff that they did, that is how you take something and revive it.
That's right. And also, it killed Star Trek.
It sucked.
If BSG hadn't come out on Sci-Fi Channel, we would have gotten another season or 2 of Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, really?
But once it became successful after that first season, it's because of BSG. What's his name? Dickhead that hates sci-fi.
Les Moonves. Yeah, we were just talking about.
Canceled Star Trek. Yeah, he canceled Star Trek.
I think he was going to cancel it anyway.
Well, he gave him.
He was going to cancel it anyway.
You hit this level, and I won't do it. They hit that level, and he still did it.
Yeah,
but
he still did it.
He wanted something that was closer to BSG, and
maybe.
And the irony of that is that BSG came about because of them screwing Ronald D. Moore.
Yeah,
and he quit Star Trek. So it's ironic. So here we go. Indiana Jones. Steven Spielberg apparently saw the film and loved it. Headline reads: Steven Spielberg watched Indiana Jones 5, loved it, and told the director, "Damn, I thought I only knew how to make one of these."
I'm happy. If that's what Spielberg is saying, if the movie really is good, I'm happy.
And he's
he's
been a big critic of hers. So, and all of us suspect that the reason he wasn't involved is because he's got problems with her.
Oh yeah. Look. You have a director.
Pronouns, pal.
Kennedy.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Okay.
Pronouns are she and sucks.
you have a director for this particular movie who is a fan himself. Having come off of something like Logan, which I still think is one of the best comic book films or comic related films out there.
The best.
James Mangold did a phenomenal job. If he can come in and do really well with this, more power to him. Seriously, but again, allow creatives to be creative.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
Know your role.
I tell you what, the guys that have been out here for CinemaCon, I did two different events. I don't think I have it in me to go out tonight, but they a group of them saw The Flash, the lucky bastards, on Tuesday, and all of them were. Apparently, Michael Keaton's in this movie a lot more than
That's
I
why
thought.
That's why it's called the Keaton movie. Yes, that's
It's so I can't wait to see it.
I know it.
Michael Keaton.
Did you get your link? Or yeah, there you
go. But I got to say, if Spielberg gives this good kudos, I'm more apt to go see it. And I like Mangold as a director.
E. Clay Thomason does point out that Spielberg also made Crystal Skull.
Yep.
No, well, you heard him recently admit it's a crappy film. I didn't want to make it. That Spielberg was pushed into it by George Lucas. He thought it was a bad idea.
Sorry about that, Gary. I didn't mean to overcut. I was going to ask quickly, did anyone smell or report Spielberg's breath before he made that comment? Was there a high level of either Listerine or, vodka?
See, the
What? I can do that.
Well, you can't really smell vodka, so I don't know, man.
No, all you smell with vodka is the alcohol itself.
I'm
And
sorry,
once it
the
evaporates,
tequila.
there's no odor.
Did he go in watching it on Molly or something?
Did he mistaken it for Birds of Prey?
Oh, jeez. That's
they
bad.
screened Attack of the Dock Tuesday night. I highly recommend it, guys. If any of you were fans of the old G4 TV,
Yeah.
Back before it derailed.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's only like a few bucks to rent it, and it's Chris Gore directed it and wrote it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Chris did it. Then it's gonna be good. I love
yeah.
Chris.
Chris
I got to
is
get
good
him
people.
back on the show. It's been too long. I just talked to him recently. I said I'm going to get you back on this summer.
Yeah, he's doing Friday Night Tights. I think they're doing it from the Salty Nerd studio. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's funny, I always feel like I make him a little nervous because of my years of friendship with Josh Becker, because I know all about Chris Gore from the other side.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't even know what that's about. So
there's a lot of stories about how he started Film Threat magazine and how they met Josh, and I've heard his story, and then I've also heard Josh's story, and somewhere in between they meet.
Right.
I will be checking that out, dude. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and hop on over to the Deadline article for Vince Vaughn, because I'm stoked about this sequel. Finally, there it is, Dodgeball. A true underdog story sequel, and I'm fascinated by the fact that one, this is happening. Vince Vaughn's career has been iffy and iffy ever since he kind of made certain political statements out loud in Hollywood, and you just shouldn't do that. But Vince Vaughn will return to star in and likely produce a sequel to his hit 2004 comedy Dodgeball, scripted by Jordan Van Dina, The Binge, which is in early development at 20th Century Studios. Deadline has learned while Rawson Marshall Thurber wrote and directed the original film for 20th Century Fox, it's not yet clear whether he'll be involved with the sequel, and who, if not Thurber, would direct. Equally uncertain is who will join Vaughn on screen, though there's certainly a deep bench of talent to pull from in looking back to Dodgeball's stacked ensemble, which included Ben Stiller, Christine Taylor, Justin Long, Stephen Root, Alan Tudyk, Joel David Moore, Chris Williams, Missy Pyle, Gary Cole, oh my God, and Jason Bateman, as well as William Shatner.
And
but of course, Rip Torn, who's, of course, dead. He died in the movie too, so we know he won't be back. But God, I mean, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Dodge a ball.
That's a line no one's ever going to forget. What a great movie. I love that film. This is exciting news. A raunchy sports comedy that grossed over $168 million worldwide against a $20 million budget. Pete LaFleur Vaughn is in a group of misfits affiliated with his business, Average Joe's Gym. The plot centered on their entrance into a Las Vegas dodgeball tournament with a $50,000 prize on the line in order to save their cherished institution. It's a great plot. If you've never seen this movie,
do you think they're going to stick to it being low budget, or do you think they're going to screw it up?
They have
spend
to.
Too much money.
Look, Vince Vaughn, I'm sure will look. He's going to call on. I guarantee you, he'll be putting a call into Favreau, even if he's a script doctor or what. I guarantee you, because they're really close friends.
Yeah.
I really do believe that this film could easily clock in to be a little more expensive, but it should
keep it under 50.
Yeah, I was going to say it should not.
It's yours and my rule. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
If you keep in today's budget versus box office, you have a greater opportunity of success with a budget under 50 million.
That's right.
And everything. Offer the actors a percentage.
Yep. There you go.
And put all your money into what you see. If it's effects or what have you, sets, it doesn't matter. Put the money in the movie, and you've got a better chance of success. Seriously. so if he keeps this under 50 million, I bet you it's going to do well. Let's see. Thurber previously addressed the possibilities of expanding the world of Dodgeball either via new films or a TV series back in 2021 interview with Deadline. He said, you know what? Never say never. I thought Dodgeball as a series always did, but actually it might be fun to do today. He said, I'm really proud of Dodgeball. It's my first film and something people still really like. I would say never, and it would have to be the right take on it. But yeah, maybe. And that was a while ago. That was like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So now
it's on a short list of comedies I actually enjoy.
Yeah, it's. I always have a copy of it because if I'm in a foul mood, me, myself, and Irene and Dodgeball will bring me out of that shitty mood every single time. That and good porn. So,
oh man,
this is exciting, man. I got to tell you, and we do know that right now the lead writer is Jordan Van Dina, and it's Vince Vaughn's heading it up as executive producer as well as star. So I think this is going to go someplace. I think this will be awesome. And if they keep it under 50 million, I think it'll be a success like the first one was. Because 2004, 20 million is pretty much around 50 million today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 40 million, but
yeah, no, like they need to, 40 is because it's just a comedy. You know what I mean? We're just like,
what would cost more than that in this type of movie? It's no CGI. There's no really.
Well, the fucking actors.
The actors I'm thinking of.
And a lot of these actors are happy with small parts. Jason Bateman loves just jumping in and playing a small character.
Yeah,
and he made that first movie as the announcer. Him and Gary Cole fucking slayed me.
He might require a little more. I mean, he has been busy since then. Look, I just think 50 million, maybe if you really want to push it, 60 million, but it shouldn't be anything beyond that. Because
you're taking a greater risk. I will tell you that few characters are as enjoyable for announcers in games than two movies. The Atlanta Braves one, I forget what it's called. Bob Uecker as the announcer.
Oh, that's Major League.
Major League.
Cleveland
Indians.
Yeah,
the Cleveland Indians. I'm sorry, you're right. Cleveland Indians. What a freaking movie. And Bob Uecker nails it. I fucking love Bob Uecker in that film. And Gary Cole and Jason Bateman in this film. They're the best announcers in the history of sports comedies. The best announcers.
Let's see how that works out for him, Cotton.
Yeah, I know. Let's see how that works out for him, Cotton. I don't know, man. I don't know about you, dude. I'm fucking excited about this. I look forward to it. Now, as more news comes in, we'll talk about it some more. Because, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, that the Cleveland Indians movie, again, I forget the name of it. I always
Hot Shots. Major League.
Hot
Shit.
Shots. Fuck you.
Hot Shots.
Hot Shots. Hot Shots
Part
Part 2. Yeah. The thing that a lot of people know is that the movie or the TV series Ted Lasso is loosely based on that.
Mm-hmm.
If you go watch the first season, you'll catch a lot of connections between it and that movie. And I liked it. I still like Ted Lasso.
I think they're called the Warriors now.
Did they change their names?
Yeah, they changed their names because people, a small percentage of the internet
Guardians.
Guardians.
They're called the Guardians. And
Guardians.
I've yet to get my cap, but when I get a chance
to
go
Jesus,
back up there,
I knew it was going to go to Ohio.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Oh, where are you from, Keith?
I'm from a land far away. A great land.
Keith, just put that hat under your reparations list. You should get it by next year.
I still call the Commanders the Redskins because that's what they'll always be.
That's
Yeah,
all
well,
good.
look, I'm always going to call the teams by what they were. I'm never
Whoa,
gonna call them
they changed the Cleveland Indians name too?
Yeah.
Yeah, where were you, man?
A lot of these teams' names came out in honor of certain people. They don't care. So I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
Well, the only one that you could really, I mean, the
We're
names are
so
going to be the name
fucking
is the
woke.
Blackhawks. The only one that actually honors the heritage is the Blackhawks. Everything else,
Everybody loves
What about-
Blackhawks.
What about
What's the
Chief?
other
Yeah,
one
they
with the
do.
Indian chief that was because he's a real person. And
yeah,
they're
exactly.
honoring
And
the
that
man.
logo is him. That logo is
Yeah, that
actually
logo is him,
So,
and
yeah.
they're changing that one. I'm like, please.
No,
why
no,
are you
they're
doing
gonna
this?
change that one. That one's staying forever. That one's
Oh,
the
good.
Indian
Thank
tribe.
God.
Even the Indian tribe is like, don't touch that because
Don't
they're like,
touch that.
no, yeah, that honors
That
us,
is our
so.
pride. Yeah,
Yep.
buddy. But anyway, anybody else have any thoughts on the future of Dodgeball?
Never
I
seen
think
the
it'll
first
do
one.
well. I
You've
think it'll
never
do
seen-
well.
Oh, you got to watch it, dude. You got to watch
Fun
it.
little film.
It is one of the best sports parodies, and it led to a resurgence in like, hey man, Dodgeball would be a fun game to actually do as a sport. And I'm like,
That's a
yeah,
lawsuit.
baby.
Concussions and it. Just kidding.
But okay, let's move over to the Wonka one.
Do we have to?
Yeah, because I'm curious about this.
Wow.
Oh my God!
I
no.
actually got to see a behind the
Wonka,
scenes
Wonka, Wonka.
video
Hugh
clip.
Grant as a Oompa
Somebody
Loompa.
shot, I think they're in Ireland, and there's a scene where he's going along and they're playing the music as he's lip syncing with it in the scene. And I like the song and I like the look. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. You've got my attention. This might not suck. The only thing I think is weird is Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
That wasn't on
I'm
the bingo
like-
card right there, man.
I'm like, I think you should hire.
Is there
dwarf
video
actors.
of this?
There's a video clip. I don't know if if I'll get in trouble for showing it. But
Well,
I can-
I'll look it up. I just said I haven't. This wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even know about this.
This is more stuff out of CinemaCon.
Ah, okay.
By the
Look,
way, did you go? Did anybody here go to that CinemaCon? Or I know you had people.
No,
that
I
went.
went to two tertiary events. So like a screening for Free Enterprise and Attack of the Dock, and then the Nerdrotic meetup.
Robert Meyer Burnett was at that one because he worked on that one, right, for Free Enterprise.
That's
Yeah.
his
In
movie.
fact, that's his movie. In fact, he did
Yeah.
a Q&A after the movie, and then Chris Gore did one after his. So.
Got to interview him last Friday. He's a really cool guy.
Oh
I
God.
I just couldn't drop $1,300 on CinemaCon when I just wanted to see one movie.
Yeah. I agree with you. Look, Robert Meyer Burnett's one of those people that he really is my other twin. So he's so much fun to talk to, and he's.
I
just
really
a
wanted to get on one of those raw rants that he was on to talk to him about Picard, because, oh my God, like talking to some of these people I've had to talk to, like Kadish and especially Michael, the salty trekker. I just feel like I'm getting ganged up on. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like I'm like, how is it I'm the only guy on this panel that likes Picard, yet everybody else I know likes Picard? I was like,
I love Picard. And me and him, me
Yeah.
and him started off our interview knowing that we were going to be at odds on Trek, and we still went on for an hour and a half. So he
Yeah.
was great to have, man. He was great.
Yeah.
To
Oh
have.
God.
All right, here you go, guys. This is the behind the scenes thing that was captured.
Background action. Now it's time to show the world.
It's dangerous.
I've got 12 silver sovereigns in my pocket.
It's quirky music. I like that.
I'm on the fence, but I am looking forward to it.
Make sure when you sit on the fence that you sit butt down, not straddle, because it hurts.
Personal experience there.
Hell yeah!
What are you talking about? He does.
I worked on a fucking farm as a kid. But well, there you go. I mean, we pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover. We've talked about Star Wars. We talked about
We talking
Wonka.
about Star Wars?
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
It was garbage.
Oh, that's,
yeah.
that's
It was
back
right
when
before
you-
I got here because I didn't want to have to talk about it again. So I was waiting for y'all.
I
My
think
my
that-
my farm advice is never try and vault over barbed wire.
Ooh.
I learned very early also not to get too close to the owner of the farm in the morning, because when I worked at the Sneed farm, as a teenager in high school, he would greet all of us. He'd be wearing hip waders, and we'd walk up, and we found out why he's wearing hip waders, because had one hand on the electric fence, and he would wait till we walked up and he'd go, "Morning," and touch us. And we go, "Ah."
Well, this is Grandpa's farm, so I didn't have to worry about any weird.
It's cheaper than coffee.
I don't know. What was that in reference to? The shock, or to what, John?
Yeah, the shock. Yeah, that'll wake your ass up. Yeah, cheaper than coffee. I was picking up what you were putting down, brother.
Oh, at least we're not talking about the shocker, you know.
That was Sinister Six, right?
Oh my!
Well, Wes Craven movie is what it was.
We did on Toxic
Michael,
Tuesday last week. We did the heist movie, Quentin Tarantino's movie, Reservoir Dogs, and one guy went as Mr. Pink, and I wrote below him. I said, "Two in the stink."
Oh no!
Who is zipping and unzipping something? It's really.
I don't want to know.
I can't help it. I keep playing with myself during the show.
So, Michael, I wanted to ask you: Are you doing anything with like? Oh gosh, there's a bunch of stuff going on. There's Friday Night Tights, which that starts in 20 minutes. They're doing that from the Salty Nerd. I think there's doing something at the Nerd downtown. Are you doing any of these CinemaCon festivities since you're out here?
You asking me? William?
Yeah, you're the only other.
He's William, not Michael.
No, William. Sorry, where'd I get Michael from?
Maybe you have a thing for Michael.
You made it up. You just made it up. There's nobody.
All right, with Michael Jordan.
Do you go by William or Bill?
William. And
okay.
I was this week was just too packed. We're getting ready for next week, which, like, for me, Free Comic Day. We have Rocky Horror tomorrow, and then we have Tromania, which is our big event in 2 weeks. That I've just been here getting stuff ready at the plaza. So the luxury of going to places is just not there for me right now.
Are you still like? Is it you're over there by what's it called? The Green Room, the Green Door, something like that? What's that called?
The Green Door. The Green Door's over here. I'm in the Orleans Plaza. I'm in the double-decker building that faces.
Yeah. Are you on the second? Are you on the second floor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know. Yeah, I've seen it. I've never actually stepped in it yet. So
actually,
whoa. So you're saying you've never been behind the Green Door?
Nah, Green Door.
Well, I've definitely never been there. You guys know that place. I don't know if you know what that place is, but it's not.
It's a movie.
I've advertised with
Behind the Green Door.
Hey man, freaks like nerdy shit too. You know
he prefers the Blue Oyster Club. Let's not get.
Oh God!
Leather
By the way,
chaps and
William, I
ballroom
got to tell you
dancing.
something. I was Gary Willoughby and I we founded Blade Zone, the Blade Runner
Gary
fan club,
Willoughby.
back in the 90s. And in the 90s, when the IMDb was launched, it said that Joseph Turkel, who played Tyrell in Blade Runner, was dead. And we found him and said, no, he's not dead. He's quite alive. And it led to a revival of his career until he actually did die. But I got to do one of the first interviews with him. And I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what was wrong with my brain that day. I asked him, like Danny just asked you, do you prefer to be called William or Bill? And you said, William. I did the same thing with Mr. Turkel. I said, do you prefer to be called William or Bill? Or Joe or Joseph? And he goes, Joseph or Mr. Turkel. And I went, okay, Joe. And for the rest of the interview, I called him Joe.
I'm a
Junior. I don't know why.
Dude. It was important to my dad that the name always be pronounced William.
It's a very formal thing. No.
Yeah. My so I've got there's William Franklin Ballard, the first is my grandfather. William Franklin Ballard the second, my uncle, and William Franklin Ballard the third, my cousin Billy. We call him Trip. And yes, it is. We did steal it from Enterprise.
I am curious. Is this a genetic thing? The blathering that you do?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, I'm kidding. But at the same time, I'm asking: were your dad or your grandpa or any of them talkers?
Nah, I mean, I don't know.
White guys. Who did you get it from? Because it's a gift.
No, it's called like I moved. Yeah, the gift of gab. I moved so much. I was always the new kid. Like I went to 4 different high schools. I went to like 3 different middle schools, 4 or 5 different elementary schools, 3 different
No, I
colleges.
feel for you on that because
I just was always moving. So I had to, and I was always in like theater or debates and things like that. But I've always had to get along with all kinds of people just because I was, one
Afraid
day
of
I'd be
getting
living
beat
in a red state, the next I'd be in a blue state, you know what I mean? And like little things or whatever, just, and yeah, I guess I'm
There
like
you go.
Kevin Smith.
I was just
like
curious,
to hear
man.
myself talk.
I do want to turn the attention back to our wonderful chat. We've got some more people who popped in. Let me get in there and get some names. We got Arwen, of course, came in. Parrothead came in. I thought more came in than that. I just want to saw more people pop in.
E-Clay, did you
Zax
get him?
is here. Kyle is here.
E-Clay.
Yep, E. Clay Thomason is here. So there you go.
Nice.
I did see some more people pop in. So good to see you guys. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday. It is the end of the week for most people, not everybody. I work 7 days a week, so I don't understand.
Same here. They're all Mondays.
Yeah, you own your own shop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
All
7 days
Mondays.
a fucking week.
Yeah.
Danny, don't snort that.
Oh no, I've been clearly it's still not working, but I've only been doing it about a week now. So,
And by the way, Clay, no, we've not heard anything yet. There's nothing in that article, but there's hopes that they'll reprise some of their roles. We all know that the woman who plays Vince Vaughn's love interest in the original film was in real life the love interest of Ben Stiller, who he's still with to this day.
Yeah.
So
She'll probably show up.
She was Jan Brady in the Brady Bunch movies. She was in 2 of them, right? They did 2 Brady Bunch movies. Brady Bunch movie and then a Very Brady sequel.
Something like that, yeah.
And she
I've
played
seen her-
Jan in both of them.
I don't know,
But she's fun.
like a traumatic experience. I kind of block those movies out.
You're a weird dude, John. I guess that's why we're friends. Traumatized by the Brady Bunch. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, traumatized by the remake of the Brady Bunch.
Jesus Christ. I grew up on the damn show too. Get over it.
get over it.
I thought it was really well done. I got to be honest. Yes, it was silly. But Gary Cole's take on the dad, his voice, the way the mannerisms, he nailed it.
Yeah.
What I loved about it is they took themselves seriously. And that's what made it funny. The characters took themselves seriously as the characters from the show, living in a modern world. And
yeah,
I love that. It's the same reason why the Airplane and all those movies were funny, because Leslie Nielsen, all those actors, Robert Stack, what's his name, Lloyd Bridges, they all played their characters straight. And what made it funny is what they're doing is absurd. And I love that. And
I will
so
say it's better than the Dukes of Hazzard movie was.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. It really was. I had hopes for it too, because I grew up on Dukes of Hazzard too.
Yeah.
By the way, surprisingly, I found this out later because of Craig, because of his work in doing visual effects, that all of a lot of the stunts that you saw in that show, miniatures.
Wow.
I got some of that found some of the footage. He showed me a bunch of footage, and I was blown away. Had no idea. I thought it was all full scale.
We have a reach from Monkey.
Oh, he had the one earlier too. Him and D-Bub Martin. All right, let's get a breach video for him. Let's see. I will give him this one.
Maybe we only need like 3 stink bombs. You better give me the other ones.
Okay, I drop these 3 stink bombs, smell up the joint, and slip out the back door.
There you go. I'm never gonna live that down. Polly, thank you. You son of a bitch. I love him. I love Polly. Started doing the whole backdoor thing, and it just won't go away. It'll never go away. That's why I gave in and just play with it. It's not my backdoor.
Yeah, he plays with his backdoor guys.
I already said it, dude. I made the joke before you, so fuck you.
He still plays with his backdoor, though.
You're an ass.
That's why he goes to the farm fence all the time, because he straddles it.
I will play this little video for everybody. I really did this one for Don Ecker. I'm going to play it for him on Monday. But here it is. Brand new video I captured.
Dave. And oh, Matthew, what is it now? For God's sake, no one's smoking, okay? But nothing! You know what we need around here is an anti-whining ordinance. So just sip your sniffling lip and all your skinny ass.
I miss Phil Hartman, man. That guy was a gift.
Yeah.
So, but we're down to the last couple of minutes here, guys. Anything we want to go over before we go? Oh, Hex Allen Comics is here. What's up, man?
Sure, Star Wars.
We never got a chance to go over the toy stuff.
Mario Brothers is kicking ass. Let's go look at that. We talked intermittently about the toys because I say it's a big nothing hamburger. I don't really care.
It's Golden Week in Japan and Korea right now, so it's actually being released in this time. So it's gonna make some pretty coin. If it hits Frozen 2 levels, who knows? Or even Avatar.
Well, it's gonna hit $1 billion.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it's at 895 right now, and it hasn't even hit Japan yet.
No, it hit today.
Oh, it hit today? I thought it hit Korea today.
No, it hit Korea on the 26th.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter.
So this weekend, it's going to be interesting to see what those numbers are. I'm hoping that they go for $1 billion. That'll be great.
Oh, it's going over $1 billion.
Yeah, there's no way that's not going over $1 billion.
Yeah,
that's the perfect IP because it reaches so many generations.
So many generations. Yeah, exactly. You see Donkey Kong or Mario in the Donkey Kong game way back in the late 70s, early 80s, and then it just goes from there, you know.
I'm not even a gamer and I didn't relate.
Jumpman, yeah. You know, my kids love it. I loved it. You know, my mom loved it. I mean, you're talking like that was, 3 generations right there.
Wow, this is interesting. On April 21st, they hit their increase of revenue for box office went up by 190.2% on the 21st. And then we skipped a few days ahead, and they kept having a little up here, a little down here, and then they hit oh, no, that was it. That was the big last jump. The previous jump was on the 14th when it went up 129.7%.
Was there a jump on the 26th?
I'm looking, not yet. It's down 34% right now.
Oh.
It's the only movie released, I think, this year that's family rewatchable. There's a lot of movies that are going to be rewatchable, but this movie's family rewatchable. So if you took a family of 3 to it the first time, you're probably going to take those people 3 and 4 times to see it.
Wait until they need to start doing this, William. I don't know, but did we lose Keith? We lost Keith.
Yeah, he said he'd be right back, but he's not back yet.
I don't think he'll get back before we end. I'll tell you this, William, that so rarely do we see this attention. And you remember a time, because you're old enough to remember this, that your biggest box offices were G and PG. G was your biggest box office, next with PG.
Yeah.
But now today, almost everything, they want to have an R or PG-13 to R. Yeah. But PG-13 is where their goal is. That's what they think their goal is.
Which is R, by the way. PG-13 is a joke rating. PG-13, for the most part, is allowing you to be R.
One fuck. The word fuck used one time, but you can't use it as the sexual act. You can only say fuck you or fucking or whatever.
Red Dawn was the first PG-13 rated movie, and that is not a PG-13 movie. That is an R-rated movie.
R movie.
From the first 5 minutes in, there's no way in hell that they created that because the Rat Pack at that time was a demographic that they did not want to lose that money on. And if they made those type of movies R movies, kids would have to have their parents to see them, and parents in the 80s would not allow their kids to see R-rated movies. So that's why they created that rating. It was a bullshit rating that was created for money.
And you know who was behind that is Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg was the guy that worked with the MPAA to create PG-13.
Joke rating.
But it is a joke. Look, the MPAA is a joke. They're such a bullshit organization. And it's like, I think they've lived past their usefulness. I think we do need a rating system for the audience, but I think it's disingenuous and dishonest the way they do it.
Well, the thing is, the ratings are just general. They don't tell you what the reason is, except, you have to read the little blurbs. Yeah. If there was like a different rating system that said like R sex or RS, so it's got
Or
sexual stuff in it, or
RV, yeah.
RV for violence. Because my parents were fine with me watching violence. They let me watch R-rated movies that were violent. It was the sexual stuff they didn't want me
That's
to
because
see.
they didn't love you.
I grew up with slasher movies, Halloween, everything. I saw that in the movies as they were coming out. And my old man had no problem with that. As long as we took it into context, he knew I wasn't going to go to school with a butcher knife to kill my fellow students. I knew the line. So I was okay with saying it. But like I said, it's PG-13. That's hilarious. Even The Dark Knight, the Joker implies that he puts a pencil through a guy's skull, kills a whole bunch of people, sets people on fire, and that's PG-13. So yeah.
Yeah,
my parents were strict. They wouldn't let my youngest brother, when he was again young, to even watch X-Files because they were thinking it was going to modify.
Yeah, I didn't want to correct you on that one. The first PG-13 was Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom. That's how Spielberg went in with it.
But it wasn't the first one released, though. I think the Red.
I don't know. You might be right there, but the first one to get the rating, because Spielberg went in and worked with the MPAA, which is bullshit. Because the MPA will not work with other filmmakers, and that's bullshit. So they created a whole new rating system so he could release Temple of Doom.
Yeah, because there's a guy getting his heart taken out in that, isn't it?
Yep, ripped out of his chest.
Twice.
Molaram,
Sudaram. But we're going to wrap up here, guys. I sent the invite out if you guys want to join us for a few minutes in the after show. I don't know how long it'll last because I've done 2 shows today and I'm fucking tired and I got artwork to do and I want to talk to my girlfriend before she moves to Vienna.
Mecca lecca high, Mecca honey ho.
Mecca honey ho.
and I'm burned out from my adventure yesterday.
What was your adventure yesterday?
Let's go on in.
I said I'm burned out from my adventure yesterday.
And I asked, what was your adventure yesterday?
Oh, he went to NFL draft pick. The draft.
Yeah.
And sadly, from what I heard, John did not get drafted.
Neither did Levi. He's still sitting there.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll get picked up today.
And he'll watch. So? He'll be the Ben Roethlisberger, because remember when Ben Roethlisberger sat forever and look what he went on to do. So,
yeah, you never know, dude. It's true.
Yeah.
Well, I must go now. Well, we do too, Donnie. We got to get the hell out of here. It's time to end the show. I want to thank all you guys for being here. Let me get back to the top. Penny, thank you for dropping in again. Penny, of course, is Dork Knight's mom. Andy Morrow is some limey prick I know. I love him. Zax is some Canadian crackhead. Let's see. Dork Knight, he's some asshole. Oh, wait, he's here. Andy Morrow. Another limey prick. Actually, you mentioned him twice. E. Clay Thomason. Lady V Elements, who left, but she's still lurking. Monk and Jeebus, thank you. Come again. The Peter Venkman fan site. He's actually here with us in the back of the studio waiting to join us. The Peter Venkman fan site, Venkman's girl. Awesome to see her all the time. Donnie Pearson was here. Let's see. Joe Fox, AF Watcher 88, Arwin Avalon, Parrot Head, Hex Allen Comics, and of course, our good friend Joe's Atmosphere. The invitation is in the chat if you want to join us for a few minutes behind the scenes after the show. You are welcome to. With that, Bill, get us the hell out of here. Have a happy Friday.
Bye.
Those sons of bitches.
Ma, I'm doing a show.